Dude, I just know when I'm like I'm scrubby going to the post.
Want to play. I want to play in your D&D game. I want to play. I want to play in your D&D game. I want to play. I want to play in your D&D.
Hey everybody, welcome to Dice Camera Action.
Hey, we're back.
It's lit, yo.
Oh no!
Oh no!
That was good, Chris. That was good.
I'm so mad.
Tilted.
Hold on. Little delayed. Okay, wait, there we go.
Oh my god!
Thank you, Nate. Thank you for being on top of things.
It's lit as F.
When last we left the group, they had attacked the Yakfolk village, defeated the Yakfolk there, but lost their frost giant companion Harshnag and apparently their armored dwarf Crack, who seemed to disappear, leaving his black armor and maul behind. An earth elemental that Harshnag took with him to his death also stomped poor Simon flat, and Evelyn and Paulton had to pick up the pieces and stuff it in their bag, and that is where Simon resides currently. The characters made their way into the mountain and found a staircase leading down into mines. There was also an elevator that would lead into the forge, but because Harshnag broke the water wheel that controlled the elevator, it was no longer functional. So descending through the mines with Diath in the lead, the party made it all the way down through miles of mine tunnels to the fire giant foundry. And upon arriving in the foundry, came upon a room that had 3 dwarf prisoners, all caked in soot and shackled together with chains. And they were standing there carrying shovels, waiting for some ore to arrive or something. But Diath wasn't quite as well hidden as he'd hoped to be, and was spotted by one of the dwarves. And in turn, the dwarf's odd looks and behavior seemed to attract the attention of a monstrous jailer, a creature that looks like that.
Cool.
Big, fiery, worm-like thing, giving off waves and waves of heat. And as it slithers over to you, Diath, I need everyone to roll initiative.
But
You
do we
heard him.
have to though?
You heard him. It's the dwarf's fault for giving me away.
Yep, totally.
Gone
the dwarf's
for
fault.
1 week, and it's like, welcome back, Fireworm.
Fireworm. Strix,
I got a 3.
3. Diath,
18.
18. Evelyn,
15.
15. And Paulton.
16.
Excellent. All right. So Diath,
Okay.
this serpentine creature can see you. And what would you like to do? Your friends are a little bit tucked back in the tunnel behind you. You're not sure that they've been seen.
Perfect. All right. So am I like behind like a column or something, or?
So no, you're basically just standing in the mouth of the tunnel. There are some mine tracks that you're standing next to. Ahead of you in the room, you can see that the tracks come to an end, and that there are the dwarves. But basically, the only cover you could possibly have is if you were to retreat further back past your friends.
All right. So it's coming at me. My friends are just a little ways behind me, right?
Yep, correct.
Great.
Lol.
Well, since he's coming right for me, we've like already locked eyes. I'm gonna pull out one of my throwing knives, just whip it at him real fast.
All right.
Just let him know that I mean business. With a 14.
A 14 bounces off of its scales.
Of
Good.
course.
I've got its attention. And then I start running back
Okay.
so that it chases after me
Yeah.
while like kind of giving you like a hand signal just to like my friends to like hide behind the walls. Jump them.
Okay.
Do we
Hit it.
interpret this as hide behind the walls?
Or whatever.
Or are you pretending to have pinchers?
I assume this is a well-rehearsed thing. Like,
Yeah.
DS sort of taken you through all of his various gestures and moves over the months, and you kind of figured them out. But you realize there's not a whole lot of places to hide in the tunnel. I mean, you can try, but this salamander's not only giving off heat but fire light, and you'll be pretty well illuminated. Now, the question I have for you, Dieth, is: you're going to run past your friends so that they are now closer to the creature than you? Because you can.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
All right.
I'm like throwing knives at him, trying to keep his attention on me
Yep.
the entire time. So he's just got tunnel vision and doesn't look to
Yes.
his left or right at all.
As the creature slithers into the tunnel and over the mine tracks, Paulton, you're the next one up. It's about, you would say, 15 feet away from you at this point.
Okay. Have we taken any kind of rest since?
We did take a short rest before we came down here. Yeah.
Yes. So
Okay.
that means that you could spend hit dice to gain hit points back, but you don't have spell slots.
Okay. Well, that changes basically anything I could have done. I'm going to. Man, I'm gonna try to. How far is it from me?
15 feet.
15 feet?
Yep.
Cool. Then I will, I guess, Thunderwave on a 3 slot.
All right.
Oh, dang.
Try to push that thing back.
A huge thunderous noise echoes through the mines and the chamber as ripples of sonic energy wash over this creature. And it will make it okay. It does make its saving throw, which means it's not going to get pushed back, but it will still take half damage.
Great. Okay, so that's 4. So, oh boy. Half of 10.
Okay. A gentle wave of thunderous energy washes over the creature.
And he just kind of stands there still.
Kind of blows back his whiskers a little bit. Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, you take that as warning.
You want to stay where you are, or do you want to?
I'm gonna go.
All right. So you run past Evelyn and Strix and
Bye.
Dieth, leaving Evelyn in the front line. And Evelyn, you're up.
And I'm hiding, but it's coming. It's passing me,
It's
right?
not. It hasn't come to you yet. It's still from you about 15, 20 feet away.
Having received Diath's message,
Yes.
I want to hold action
Okay.
with Lightfall and just like I'm delighted to be hiding behind the wall. Like,
All right.
we're gonna get him.
Yes. Then the creature does come slithering right up to you, Evelyn, and locks its eyes right on you.
On me?
Yep.
It's supposed to be watching Diath.
And as it gets close to you, you can just feel waves of heat, like intense heat washing off this creature. And it stabs at you with its spear and misses you, striking the wall.
If I had my hold action, wouldn't I have?
It gets to finish its action
Oh.
before you get to take yours. And then with its tail,
Wow.
it tries to coil it around you. And roll natural 19. So that'll be a 26 to hit, which will be a hit.
Yeah.
Just like we
And
planned, Evelyn.
Yeah. It does, as it wraps and tightens around your little body, it does 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
Don't I even get to do like a strength save or something?
Not yet. No. On your turn, you can attempt to break a grapple.
What about my armor of invulnerability?
Very good. So since this is not a magical weapon, you take 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay. I accept.
And then you take on top of that 2 points of fire damage.
Ouchies.
So a total of 7 points.
Okay.
And this thing is wrapping you up in its constricting tail. Now,
Okay.
on your turn, which is now,
Mhm.
you can, as a move, try to break the grapple or slip out of the grapple, either with a strength athletics check or a dexterity acrobatics check. Or if you like being here, you can just hang out. That doesn't prevent you from making your attacks, though.
It does not prevent me from making my attacks?
Does not prevent you from making your attacks. The only thing you can't do while grappled is move.
In that case, since I have the beast's attention and I'm keeping it away from my party, and I know that my armor, if I take an action, can make me completely immune to damage, right?
Yeah, it can make you immune to, for a period of, I can't remember the time. Hang on, check. Ba-do-ba-do-ba-do. Yeah, so
I
yeah,
like
when
this
you
new
can,
armor.
You can use a special action to make yourself immune to non-magical damage for 10 minutes. Once it's
And-
activated, it's a 10-minute countdown.
And neither of those kinds of damage I just took were magical, you said.
That is correct.
What, you want to do this now? We've only just gotten to the vines.
Oh, that's right. I can only do it once per day, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Correct.
Oh.
Just want to put that out there.
But it would have been so cool. You're right.
No, I agree. I saw where you're going. That's brilliant.
You're right, though. I'll make a strength check, and also I have this is technically a saving throw, right?
No.
No.
It's a skill check, not a save.
Dang it! Then my aura of protection won't help.
Mm-mm.
None of this will help. Nothing helps. Fine,
Nope.
just straight strength check.
Straight up strength check.
Oh, poop on a platter.
Only
Oh.
had some strength.
Well, I managed to roll a 9.
Oh.
All right, then you are locked within its clutches.
What a waste.
Now you can use another move action to try to get out, but then you will lose your attack.
So I could make an attack.
Or you have
All
2
right.
attacks.
So I'm like trying to get out, and then Evelyn just gets frustrated, and she's got Lightfall like this, like all wrapped up. So she's just,
All right.
and that will be a 17.
That hits.
Hooray! Where's the rest of my dice? Okay, and now that I'm also going to Divine Smite on that.
Oh, great.
So the initial amount is 7 plus an extra D8 is 2, so 9.
9. Okay. You hit it for 9. When you do, flame erupts from its wound and deals 10 points reduced by your armor to 5 points of fire damage.
That is so not cool.
So after you take the fire damage in response to your hit, you have a second attack if you want to take it.
I guess well, did it seem to like was I throwing a pebble at a giant, or was you said
No,
it
you
like
were
reacted?
Yeah, it definitely took all that damage.
Okay. I'll do it again. I'm pissed off, and I have lots of HP, and I'm just trying to get out hacking with Lightfall.
Okay.
And I roll a 10. That's with a 7 modifier, by the way.
Okay, that bounces or slides off of its scaly hide.
I'm like with Lightfall.
All right, so Strix, you're about 5 feet back from Evelyn, watching her fight off this horrible, large serpentine creature. What would you like to do?
Well,
And you got Waffles sort of strapped behind
right, and
to your
I'm
harness.
sure she's just like hitting me in the face
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Like, well, first, Strix is gonna think for a second and be like get ready to fireball, and then be like, wait a second. It's like she's like fire.
Fire?
Doesn't think it's gonna work. But I think I'm going to try polymorphing this guy into a frog.
Nice.
Yes.
Come on, big money.
All right, and he has to make a saving throw.
That'd be hilarious and awesome.
It would be great.
Save us, Strix.
Come
Your
on.
All right, so this is a wisdom saving throw. Okay, so it rolled a 16 on its save.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
that
I think
is.
that beats your
It does. My
Yeah.
spell save DC is 14.
14.
Yep. I
So
tried.
yes, your magical energy sort of washes and twirls around it. It fights it off through sheer force of will and is not affected. You want to stay where you are, or do you want to back off?
I don't. As I see it's not working. I'm just like, ah! It just looks around.
All right.
And I won't do anything. I'll just panic and look for a place to hide. I guess.
Okay.
If there's anything I can hide behind, maybe like a rock or.
Yeah, you could probably find some broken off piece of wall that you can
Okay.
hunker down behind.
All right.
Diath, make a perception check for me.
Oh, okay.
And it's your turn.
All right. Perception first. 18.
Okay. For just maybe a matter of 5 seconds, some of the ambient noise in the foundry or the forge ahead of you seemed to diminish. Like some of the machines stopped working. There was a few less heavy whooshing noises and less clatter and clanking, like maybe the sound of the reverberating thunder echoing through the complex caused a few pauses. What would you like to do?
His face.
This is Paulton's vengeance against you.
Colton, did we mention this is a stealth mission?
I don't know. I just checked back in, man. What's going on?
All right. Okay. So when Evelyn struck it,
Fire erupted from its body and splashed all over her briefly.
all right, I'm going to stick with the dagger throw.
Okay.
Is he engaged with Evelyn technically?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm gonna hit it in such a place so that the wound is away from Evelyn.
Oh, sure.
So
Yeah.
if the fire splits out, it goes
Yeah.
somewhere else.
Got
So
it.
just another real quick dagger throw from the back of my belt. And he's closer, so I have a much better chance of hitting. Oh yeah, 27.
Yep.
Yes. All right. Oops. One too many. Hey. That is 18 total.
Got it. All right. Yes, your dagger sticks into its scaly hide, and you see sort of fire and heat ripple out from the wound, not in a way that seems to affect any of your friends.
Hooray!
Great.
All right. And Halton, you're now at the back of the group.
Right.
Evelyn has the creature in her clutches.
Right, my clutches.
So stealth mission.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's going great so far.
With this newly acquired information, this will now change probably nothing. Let's heck. It's like, no, that's loud. That's loud. Huh. I'm gonna go ahead. So would Bardic Inspiration be that loud? Could it be like a light little tune?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
cool. I'm gonna go with that.
Okay, and who are you going to inspire?
I feel like Evelyn might need it coming up, so
All right.
go ahead and do that.
And you're a D8 on your, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so Evelyn, you've got a D8 that you can add to a die roll.
To any die roll?
To blah. Da-da-da-da.
Ability check, attack roll, or saving throw.
Yeah, so pretty
Okay.
much
Not damage.
not damage.
Okay.
A D20 roll, basically. Okay, so that's Paulton, and it is the creature's turn. Now, the creature still has you in its coils, so it doesn't need to roll to damage you with its tail. It just does 15 points of bludgeoning damage, which is reduced to 7, and 7 points of fire damage, which is reduced to 3. So you take a total of 10 points of damage from its tail.
Okay.
While it's crushing you with its tail, it is going to sort of shuffle forward a bit and try to skewer Strix with its spear.
Oh, that's messed up.
Of course, it's got a spear too.
No.
Yeah.
I'm hiding behind a rock.
Yes, it can see you.
Oh.
So it rolls a not natural 20, which will hit Strix. Strix, you take 10 points of piercing damage
Okay.
and 5 points of fire damage. Now you're a tiefling, so the fire damage is reduced too.
Yay.
Oh yeah, so Strix, you could be tanking this whole thing.
Well, I mean, no.
Yes.
No.
No,
And
no.
you sort of turn away as the spear hits you, so it doesn't at all get anywhere close to your owlbear.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Better not.
Yep. And then Evelyn, you are in the coils of this beast.
I am filled with inspiration from the song
Yes.
that Paulton sang me, and I just feel so filled with strength.
You wish it was a little louder, though. That's all.
I mean, always. But I sing along in my heart and
Mhm.
probably out loud too.
Mhm.
La la la. So let's see. That means I rolled. So do I need to add it? I can add it if I need it on top. Of the roll.
Correct. Yeah, you don't have to
Okay.
decide right away.
So I rolled an 18 strength check to get out.
Oh.
Do I get to know whether that worked before I add the die?
I will let you know if it worked, and it would not work. So do you want to add the
Yes.
die? Okay.
Ooh, that adds 7. So
Okay. You succeed.
yay!
By virtue.
Paulton, you have freed me!
Oh my god, are you like screaming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just stop being loud.
He already
right.
knows I'm here.
Yep. So
No.
you are no longer grappled by the creature, and you still have your attacks.
And so now I'm just going to turn around and hiss at it and cast Nature's Wrath.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
Beheld, foul beast.
Yes.
So you just hissed at him?
Yep.
Yeah, I pulled a page from your book.
Strix is like, what? That's weird.
I'm channeling my inner animal with this snake. I don't know what's happening.
All right. Now, this is, I don't remember the last time somebody used this in the game. I have to actually look it up.
Spectral vines, blah, 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 rappy.
Okay.
You know, that one.
Hmm.
I know where it is. I can find it.
All right.
Where
are you?
You can use your channel divinity, blah, blah,
Oh,
blah.
there it is. As an action, cause spectral vines to spring up. Creature must succeed on a strength or dexterity saving throw, its choice, or be restrained. What's the DC?
I don't know.
I don't think it matters. It rolled a 17. I don't think your DC is 17.
Oh, wait, my spell DC?
Yep.
Well, Chris, let me tell you,
Definitely not 17.
it is not 17.
All right.
It's 16, actually, though.
Using its slithery, snaky form, it seems to dodge and weave around the grasping vines.
Wait. No. Yes. No. Just
No.
kidding. I lied. I'm sorry.
All right. And then Strix, you're up.
Oh, great.
As the hot spear is ripped from your body, what do you do?
Cry. I'm going to use my sorcery points to try and polymorph him again and do a frog.
Ah, very good. Okay.
So I'm just like, come on, please.
Okay. He's a frog.
Yes.
Stomp on it!
Now, you know, if you stomp on it and you kill the frog, it's going to become a salamander again.
But it'll be
Oh.
dead salamander.
It'll still be
Well,
dead.
no.
That that's not fair, Chris.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
What's the point of polymorphing something if you can't kill it?
To basically take it out of a fight. See, if it reverts as a result of dropping to 0 hit points, any excess damage carries over to its normal form. So if you did 10 points of damage to it in frog form and it only had
Right.
2 hit points because it was a frog, it would turn back and take 8 points of damage.
Got
Is
it.
there
So
like a
But
Alright.
there is a giant pit where an elevator once was, slightly behind us.
True.
No.
is
not slightly
there
behind you?
Oh no,
anywhere around us? Is there like
a pit.
a box?
Yeah, deeper in the room, past where the dwarves are standing, there were some old crates and things.
get one of the mine carts, tip it over, just box them in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that.
How long does
Just do
polymorph
that.
last?
So it lasts a concentration up to 1 hour.
Strix, can you hold that for an hour?
I don't know. As Waffles is like, maybe. Is there any sort of pit anywhere, or fire, or I mean,
Well,
fire
you
wouldn't do
know,
anything.
there are waves of heat ahead of you from
Okay.
deeper in the foundry, so you know there's probably a huge furnace or fire somewhere ahead of you.
I don't think throwing this fire creature into a furnace or a lava
Probably
would do
not.
much.
Box.
Seems to have been born out of fire. But
Just
yes,
Yeah, let's
So,
just put them in a box.
Paulton picks up the frog,
Yes.
and
Wait.
here you go.
I learned something from Chris Perkins, which is that HP actually doesn't matter if you smash something.
It's not
So,
the same.
Don't undo
No?
my work.
okay, fine.
Though, Paulton, you have Dimension Door. We could just throw him in one of those,
It's only like 400 feet, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
but that's 400 feet away from us.
So, Paulton, as you step up into the room, you can see that the 3 soot-covered dwarves, they haven't moved or done much since all of this transpired. They are kind of in a stunned state. They're just kind of like dazed and probably just so tired they can barely even think straight. But when you look about the room, here's what you see. It's kind of an oddly shaped room, but basically, this is where ore from the mines is brought down, and there is a bucket chain that bisects the room. It sort of comes through a hole in one wall and exits through a hole in the opposite wall. And it's just a big, thick chain pulley system with these big hanging iron bins. And those things are sort of constantly moving a little bit at a time, kind of in a very jerky motion, and the bins are kind of shaking as they move. Past them, at the back of the room, you can see what appeared to be old mine carts, heavy iron carts with wheels. You can also see what appear to be old crates and boxes, and even what looked to be an old barrel of ale or something.
So you said it's like a chain with like buckets.
Yeah. If you imagine like big giant bins, each about large enough to hold maybe 2 or 3 of you, are hanging from these chains and being kind of ferried across the room above the ground.
And those are like just going through the room. Into
Yeah, they're
elsewhere?
essentially just passing through the room. You think that they were probably designed, like the dwarves here with their shovels are supposed to like scoop stuff into them as they pass, but they're not doing any of that. So these empty bins are just kind of slowly rattling through the room, through a hole in one wall and out through a hole in another. And these holes are big. I mean, they're like tunnel-sized opening that these bins pass through.
How high up are the bins?
So the lip of the bins are about, you'd say, 6 or so feet above the floor. But there are also little ramps and things that you can stand on to get up higher. Like if you, say, wanted to pull yourself into a bin or try to reach down into a bin or something.
Where's that big bird?
The big bird you left outside circling over the Yakfolk village.
So in theory, if something were in the bin, it would just kind of be taken away.
Yes. And you don't think that a frog, because the bins are so deep, you don't think a frog would be able to hop out of it.
I'm gonna put the frog in a bin. Just kind of.
What if it comes back?
We'll worry
Well,
about that then.
that's a problem for later us.
Exactly.
All right.
That sounds like sound logic.
So yes, the dwarves just sort of, with no real expression, just sort of watch Paulton walk over to one of the bins, drop a frog in, wave it goodbye, and watch it as the bin sort of leads off out of the room.
Awesome.
Frog's gone.
Great.
Well done.
Jared, as Dieth is listening, that a lot of the sounds that were heard, the ambient noises before, seem to have returned to normal, almost like nothing happened. And what you're able to distinguish is there's clearly sounds of some sort of furnace, like just a big roaring furnace of some kind. You also hear whooshing sounds, almost like giant bellows that are used to fuel heat. You can hear clattering of iron, almost like heavy footsteps on iron or iron tools banging against other iron and stone. You also hear hammering noises like you would hear in a smith's forge.
Yeah, I hate that I can hear that at all. Hearing it at all means it's closer than I would like.
Yeah. There is one, other than where the bucket chain enters and leaves, there's one exit from this room, and it seems to head in the direction of the heat and the noise.
Okay. So, ignoring that for now, I'm going to approach the dwarven miners / slaves. Are they chained up or anything? In any
So
way?
they've got their dirty shovels in their hands, and they're sort of leaning on them almost for support. They have manacles around their ankles with a chain to connect them so they can't like widen their legs terribly far or run really. And they are manacled to each other by the ankles as well. So they're like this chain strung between them. So the three can't even get far enough away from each other. Now the manacles are sort of crude and they have fairly simple locks. Just a cursory examination, you think you could pick them pretty easily.
I would like to do that, please.
All right. Go ahead and make one, since they're all basically the same kind of lock, make one dexterity check.
Yes! That's crazy. 35.
Whoa!
Oh my god.
Calm down.
What? That's insane.
Whoa.
Yes, you just pull out a tool, look at the lock, you stick it in, the thing just falls apart. And he does that over and over and over again and releases the dwarves. One of the dwarves says, "Thank you."
Are you one of you Jasper? Or do you know where he is?
Another of the dwarfs says, "I don't know, though. He's taken away with the other slaves, though."
Where were they taken to? Do you know?
Jasper, his head is full of ideas, and he wanted to talk to the leader, though.
You said Jasper?
Yes, ma'am, though.
She kind of like and looks at Dia. Aren't we looking for a Jasper?
Yes, Evelyn, we are. He was taken.
He was the leader of our patrol, though.
Oh, you're a part of his patrol?
Yes.
Okay. Well, would you happen to have, how long have you been working in here?
Several weeks, though.
And in this time of you working here, do you have any idea of what the fire giants are up to?
He says,
I have never been deeper, though, into the foundry than we are here, though. I was kept up with the yak folk, though, and in the mines, though.
I just can't with these dwarf essays.
one of the other dwarves says,
I don't know any Jasper, but I really want to get out of here. Is it safe up there?
Actual Evelyn is like giggling behind us.
I just want like Chris has like a sheet on the wall outside the camera that we can't see that has like all the suffixes that he's planned to use, like 3 letters.
yes, but one of the third dwarf sort of shakes him and says,
We can't leave them down here. We must help them.
and when you hear that one, he sounds familiar to you because he uses a similar suffix as old Zog,
Oh.
Zog!
but it's not Zog.
But he sounds like Zog.
He
Maybe
does.
he came back to life.
No, we definitely killed him, Evelyn.
I mean,
he's dead.
fine.
He's 100% dead.
Evelyn, just because they talk the same, you can't just assume they're the same person. That's like highly offensive.
Yeah.
So,
Zog
yes,
is dead twice.
You've got one dwarf wanting to get to freedom. The other one is happy to give you what information you need that he knows about Jasper, but knows in fact very little. And then there's one who sounds like Zog.
You should definitely help us.
Why?
Because why?
Because he freed you, stupid.
Yeah, listen to that one.
You said Jasper went away to talk to the leader of the fire giants. Would you happen to have any idea of where that would be or
Oh,
why he
that
would want to
sounds
do
bad.
Barzak says,
Deeper in the forge, though. The leader's
that? Evelyn,
name,
this is serious.
the leader's name is Zalto, though.
Zelto, that's the leader of the fire giants.
Yes, though.
Evelyn, you really can't just laugh at how talk.
Yeah, they're not going to help us if you're mean to them.
I'm just filled with the holy light of Lathander and glory and the beauty that he's created in the form of speech for all of his creatures.
I don't think that's true.
It's true.
You mentioned wanting to help the others. Who are you talking about?
the dwarf says,
This foundry is full of slaves. We have to get them out of here. We can't leave them to die down here, slaving away for the giants.
How many are we talking?
Dozens.
We could save them. Let's save them. Come on.
They are our brothers and sisters.
If you could look at a lock and it'll just fall apart, right?
yeah.
I mean,
right on.
these are pretty shoddily made. It's
Yeah.
not hard.
Strix is trying to cover up Evelyn's mouth now. Just holding her hand in her mouth, but yeah, we'll save them. Stop it!
That is so cute.
It's stop it!
Your frog is going on a long, wonderful journey, Paulton.
Okay. I'm happy for him.
It's definitely left the room by now, and it's gone to parts unknown.
Oh, good. At least something's going well.
We knew him well.
Yeah.
Do we know the names of these three dwarves?
And the
Yes. They will tell you. There's Barzuk Brazenbeard.
Beardo or Bearda or
And
Bearderm?
He's a beardo.
It's my
Okay.
favorite.
So Barzuk Brazenbeardo.
Okay.
And he's the one who has been doing most of the talking and has told you he's never been any farther than this in the foundry. So he doesn't know what the giants are building. His job and these other two dwarves' job is to just basically dump ore into the mine carts. They know that this ore goes across the foundry to some place where it is basically pulverized and its impurities are taken out. That's all that they've been told.
It sounds almost like making bread, as though the rocks were your. What's that thing called when you're making bread
Evelyn,
and
I swear to God.
a consist.
I swear
What's
to
that
every
called?
god
That
that's
stuff
not
that you
Lathander.
make. Don't what's that called? Brazen beard.
Are you talking
stuff
about
make
yeast?
bread out of?
Are you talking about yeast?
No. When you mix
Oh,
it all
flour.
together. No. You mix it all together, and it's it's like the mushy stuff that before you put it in the oven, it's bread.
Dough?
Brazen beard, is that what it's called?
Yes, it's called dodo.
You're so right.
All right.
Strix is just I'm
did-
done.
That's what I
I'm
meant.
done here. I'm
The-
leaving.
The
You can't
second,
just do that.
the second dwarf, the one who wants to just leave, his name is Dunlow Hammerhome, and he's Hammerhome. And then there's Zorn Splintershard. Zorn is obviously a member of the same clan as Zog, and he's the one who wants to rescue his fellow dwarves who are deeper in this place.
I want to rescue them too.
So right now, Zorn is trying to convince Dunlow that he can't just leave and abandon his dwarven kin.
These other slaves, where could we find them?
These dwarves say if you follow the heat, it will lead you to the foundry. Past the foundry is a slave wheel that the slaves turn to keep the bucket chain moving. And it is near that slave wheel where you'll find the slave quarters, their cells.
And is that where that those moving carts go to?
The moving carts, they say, they believe circle. They circle all. They go all around the entire foundry. They go through almost every area of the foundry at some point, and then they're sort of on a chain, so they come back around. So that frog, if you wait long enough, will get back around in about an hour.
About when he would turn back into a salamander.
Yeah, precisely.
Dia, I know this is supposed to be a stealth mission, but I feel very strongly that we should free all of these slaves right now.
Zorn has one other piece of useful information that he tells you, and that is that Zalto, the Duke of the Fire Giants, is here with his entire family. He has a wife and he has 2 kids.
The babbies!
Oh, good. Let's just go kill them.
I was just going to say, where can we kill those?
Wait, what? Why?
They're evil!
None of the dwarves know where the family members are.
Excuse me, dwarves, can you please explain to my paladin friend that fire giants are evil? Just in like 1 or 2 words.
But what if we could keep the babbies?
Shut up!
They're evil worm!
See?
Oh, okay.
Evil worm! Evil worm!
Would you say they're like no better than a worm?
Yeah, they're no better than a worm.
Damn it!
Evelyn!
This is totally out of character. This is totally Anna, not Evelyn. I'm sorry. To everyone who's in chat being like, Evelyn would not do that. Evelyn would never make fun. You're right, okay? You're right. Okay, I'm done. Anyways, you're right. Fire giants must be eliminated from the face of the earth, but suppose that the young want to convert. In that case, we could potentially maybe have them join our crew. I'm just saying.
Yep. Yeah, the dwarves will tell you fire giants are the worst. Fire giants are the worst.
All right, they're the worst.
All right. So we got help the slaves, balls deep in the furnace, past the wheel, all that. Find Jasper, who tried to go meet up with Zelto. Awesome. And generally try to figure out what the heck the fire giants are even up to and or making or creating or why they're here.
Right.
Is that where we're at right now?
Is that all?
That's the long and short of it.
That's the long and short of it. Deep within Iron's Leg, broken elevator.
Don't forget, go fast before the frog turns back into a salamander.
Because there's a pissed off frog.
Mm-hmm. And no robot son. Got it.
Right. Yes.
Look, if he brought him down here, he would just burst into flames. It's better this way.
And you may at some point
have him with me.
Through pure chance, you may at some point find out what might have happened to your dwarven friend Crack, who disappeared just like poof and left his armor and weapon behind.
And Crack's missing.
There could be a naked dwarf running around down here somewhere. You just don't know.
Don't worry, Crack. I've got your armor safe and sound.
That's right, Evelyn. You're wearing it, so you're clad. Evelyn's clad in this black with gold filigree dwarven-made armor.
Cool.
It'd be better
with
if
bucket
it was
helm
like,
and everything.
Yeah, so I actually sound like this. Everything I say.
Yeah, and you don't actually see any part of her except like a little bit of her eyes through the slit.
But aren't they pretty eyes?
Yeah. There is a hatch you can open up over the mouth, Evelyn, if you want people to see your mouth move.
Okay. It opens like this? Like this?
It's sort of like a little, like, keep.
Like
opens,
doors?
Yeah, like doors.
What a ridiculous. Every time I talk, I open it.
Oh my God.
This whole episode is just Anna giggling.
I'm done for you guys.
All right.
Well,
but at this point, your only real avenue is either to follow the bucket chain or to make your way down the heated corridor toward what you know now to be the foundry.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and do that. I don't feel like going in the buckets with the frog.
Yeah, the bucket chains, 1 is where we have a pissed off frog. 2, it said is where they pulverize impurities, and our presence alone is an impurity. So I'd rather not do that. Paulton if possible until things go hardly awry. Let's keep the thunder waves to a minimum.
No promises.
That's the most I could ask of you, buddy. All right. I'll inform Barzak, Dunlo, and Zorn that leave it to us. We'll try our hardest to get as many of your clansmen free as we can. We made our way down here, and I can try to relay that same information back to them.
As you recall, you put chalk marks on the wall on your way down.
Yes, we can tell them to follow Strix's chalk marks.
Okay, that they
It's
can
like,
do.
sorry about the earlier ones that were slurs against Lathander, but they're there.
Zorn will tell you that if they do make it all the way up to the top through the mines, that they will try to wait for you as long as possible up there.
Right.
That's good.
Don't wait too long. I don't know how long this will take, but if you see a chance to escape, please take it.
Okay.
Leave the rest to us.
All right. They will disappear up the mines.
As soon as they're gone or turn back to our party, we're boned.
I mean, yeah.
All we need to do is find information and free all the slaves.
If you want, I could polymorph into a rat and just go as far as I can.
But then you'd be alone.
But less conspicuous than, say, all of us.
I'll come back.
It's a risk I'm willing to take.
I can come back.
All right, Evelyn, I agree. We have to save as many of the slaves as we can. But in our current situation with such a small force, I don't think it's possible for us to get all of them. We'll get anyone we can, if at all. But our main priority is getting information for the Citadel. Because if need be, they can lead an assault onto here, not us.
And then we could bring back everybody and then choppy, stabby for all the slaves?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. I understand delayed gratification. I am a paladin.
All right. Strix, I actually don't hate the idea of you turning into a rat and sneaking forward.
I can do that.
Yeah. Wait.
Just don't get stepped on.
Real quick. Does anyone remember us seeing any other smaller critters around here? Like, say, rats or rodents or anything else? Chris?
You didn't see much in the mines, but it would not be beyond the pale to have seen a rat or two.
All right, cool. It won't be completely out of place.
Yep.
So do it.
Yeah, Strix, use your whatever magic juju you got.
Okay.
Rat forward, go down towards that heated place. Get as far as you can as a rat, and then just try to get back here and relay the information. I'll wait here and try to listen as hard as I can. If it sounds like something's going wrong, we'll come running.
You realize right away, Diath, that listening is not going to be easy just because of the clatter, the clanking, the pounding, the whooshing.
But this is what I'm telling her.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Well, if I hear something, we'll come running.
And she'll just believe it and be like, all right, I'm so glad I have such good friends. And she'll turn into a rat, but the rat will have like poofy hair. So it's just like
is this
it looks kind of dirty.
Are you using the power of the charm that the Dryad put upon you, or are you using one of your own spells? Okay. So you become when you become a rat, what becometh of Mr. Stinky?
I was gonna say,
Stinky and Waffles I'll give to Evelyn.
Yes.
Yay!
I was gonna say we'll give Waffles to Evelyn, and she'll
Juniper and Stinky hang out in my pocket.
Yeah.
What does it look like when you turn into a rat? Is it like Power Ranger style, or like what do you?
I'm sure it's gross. I don't know.
Power Ranger style, so just a lot of arm movements.
It's probably just like melting, just like and then like turn into a rat.
This has a gross moppy rat hair on top.
Yeah.
You just sludge into a rat.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
I love it.
Yes.
Right.
Now, one of the things you notice right away as soon as you turn into a rat, Strix, is you feel warmer than you did before, because now you're a rat and not a tiefling, but the heat is still bearable. And you make your way down the passage and very quickly come to the foundry. Now, bear with me because this is a kind of a complicated space, so I'll describe it as succinctly as I can. The room is massive, but it's lit from below. And that's because, Strix, as you come out into the room, you are fairly high up. If you imagine this room is basically a long rectangle, you're coming in at the top of it. And around 3 of the walls of the rectangle at your height, attached to the walls is a wide iron gantry, like a balcony made of iron. all like girdered and gridded, and there are actually holes through the balcony. As a rat, though, you can sort of run along beams and things. So there's this iron gantry that hugs 3 walls of this enormous room, and it is 50 feet off the floor below. And there's another 40 feet over your head. So the room you're in is actually 90 feet tall, and you are 50 feet up on this gantry. Below you, through the gantry and over the gantry, you can see that the room below is dominated by a large pit of molten ore. And there are furnaces, 4 of them spaced all around its perimeter, and big giant whooshing bellows sticking into each furnace. And those are being pushed up and down by fire giants, 4 fire giants. They are paying you no mind. As the furnaces burn, they sort of melt and heat the ore, which is funneled through doorways on the lower level. And you can't see them, but through those doorways you can hear the clattering of hammers on anvils. So somebody is taking this molten ore and making it into something. Sticking out of the tops of the furnaces are these giant funnels, and the bucket chain sort of circles through the room, goes out one hatch, or it comes in one way and disappears out the other, and they pass right over these funnels. If you were a bigger creature, you could almost reach out over the gantry and grab one of the buckets going on the bucket chain, but you're way too small in your current form to reach them.
And when she sees the fire giant, her little rat hands go.
Yeah. So the bucket chain is clanking along. On the gantry, you can see what appear to be ogres with poles. And at various points, they use the poles to grab a bucket and pull it, tilting it and dumping its ore into the funnel and into the furnace. So it's a very complex operation. These ogres seem pretty dumb, as all ogres are, and really can't do much more than one thing at a time. So really they're just waiting, like they're watching the buckets and waiting for a bucket to come up to them so they can pull it over. So they can all pull it over at the same time. It's like watching the world's worst synchronized fortress. At the very far end of the room, which, because it's well lit with the molten flames and everything, you can see on the gantry, literally right across from you, but well over 100 feet away, there is a creature that you can guess might be like an adolescent fire giant. And fire giants are built like dwarves, but they're just humongous. This one is about 9.5 feet tall, and he's got a dwarf by the ankles and is holding him over the gantry, threatening to drop him into one of the furnaces.
Uh-oh.
You can't hear what they're saying exactly from this distance because of all the other noise, but I'm going to let you make an insight check to see what brought this on.
Oh, please don't be an important dwarf.
14.
You're not exactly sure, but based on the demeanor of the adolescent fire giant, you think that the giant is torturing this in a way. He's laughing and having fun, putting this dwarf's life in imminent peril.
So I can tell he's not going to drop him. He's just torturing him.
Yeah, and occasionally he'll let go of one leg and let the dwarf swing there by one ankle, and then let go both, but catch him with the other one a little ways down and just sort of hang there. And he's laughing to himself. This fire giant is sort of a fat kid torturing a bug.
All right. Okay, so I see all of this.
Yeah, and the heat in here is just, oh my god.
Yeah, I don't want to stay here too long. Being a tiny little rat, I got small lungs. But if I can see any sort of path that might allow us to sneak, or anything that will help us get past.
So make a perception check.
All right, please be 9.
Well, the way the buckets are moving, they're actually kind of moving from him toward you. So if you were to hop in a bucket, you'd almost be immediately taken out of the room and borne back to the room where your friends are.
Right.
Now, but 9 isn't great. Definitely.
That isn't great as my middle name.
Yes. You think as a rat, it wouldn't be hard to sneak past the ogres on the gantry and even probably the fire giant on the gantry who's very distracted at the moment. You think in your current form, you would hardly be noticed by these big lumbering creatures at all. But with your friends, you're just not sure. You're not really sure. And then it sort of occurs to you as you look down through the grate that maybe they would be less seen if they were crawling on the underside of the gantry.
Oh. If they were underneath it.
Essentially hanging, moving around the underside where the support beams and things are for the gantry.
Above the lava?
Above the 50-foot. Actually, the gantry never goes right over the lava.
Oh.
The gantry passes near the furnaces, funnels, and if you were to fall off the gantry, unless you were taking a flying leap, you would actually hit the floor.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Oh, okay.
But you have no way to know whether or not like climbing under the gantry is a good idea, or if it's even actually less likely to make you seen than anywhere else, and if it's safe.
Right. All right. Well, I've seen pretty much all I can see in this room. So unless I follow the giant or go over towards that area, I'm not going to see anything else.
Right. And if you were to go over toward the giant, that would put you twice as far away from your friends as you are now.
Yeah. That's not something I'm willing really to do right now, because the further away I get, the harder it is to breathe. So I'm going to scoot back.
Okay.
And I don't know. Can I talk as a rat?
Just let me check the spell very quickly here. You retain your alignment and personality. So I'm going to say yeah.
Cool. So Strix is like, okay, so I saw like a bunch of stuff, and her little like rat voice, and she informs everyone about what happened.
All right. Now you know what she knows.
And she also informs that she can go farther, but it would be a bigger risk. But I do have a knock spell, so if I can get to the dwarves and unlock the chains, I could unlock them with my spell.
Ooh. Free the slaves. Free the slaves.
Okay,
make them a distraction.
Do you want me to do that?
I feel like if we do that, we could condemn them.
I actually lied. Later in the spell, it says the creature is limited in the actions it can perform by the nature of its new form, and it can't speak, cast spells, or take any other action that requires hands or speech. So you'll have to turn back to your normal form.
Well, I do have hands, so I'm just going to write all this on the ground.
Done. All right.
And chalk.
Aw, it's so cute. It's a little rat handwriting.
Mm-hmm.
Little rat handwriting, and it's probably like several paragraphs.
Yeah. It's like, okay.
It's like punctuated by little drawings and little like,
yeah.
Like, ah!
Yeah, exactly.
Lots of frowny faces.
Yeah, pictures of ogres, the adolescent fire giant holding the other one, rest says torture pointing at it. So yeah, that's and after that, I'll inform you that I have the knock spell. I can try and go further, but just give it some time. And once you hear the distraction, come after me because I don't feel like dying today. And she'll draw like a little dead rat.
X's on the eyes.
Yeah, there's a little rat with X's on the eyes. And
Releasing the slaves would only enrage the fire giants. It would provide us distraction list to get through, but we would condemn them to death.
Maybe not.
The rat shrugs.
Maybe they would just get away.
To where?
Out.
All right.
I mean, you never know. Who are we to decide their level of capability?
It's not their capability I'm doubting. It's the stomping of giant feet that I'm more concerned about.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't fight giants. Probably.
But Strix, you said there might be a decent path that we as a group could sneak through?
Strix will inform them with paragraph after paragraph and also like...
Yeah, Yeah, so if Strix's descriptions are accurate, there's really one way at this level. There's one way across the foundry, and that's across the iron gantry that circles 3 walls of the room. Now, if you're just going to walk there, you're going to be seen, but it's possible you could crawl underneath the iron gantry. It's possible that you could try some other tack.
Sounds like that's all we have to do. I mean, shrugs again. But I could go make a distraction, and she'll just like draw that. And then just be like, follow me in like, I don't know, 15 minutes. And then she'll take off.
Right, little rat goes hopping back off into the dark.
All right, there she goes.
And I'll try and stay as hidden as possible on my way to go find the slaves.
All right, be safe.
Okay, what are the rest of you doing while she is off? Are you going to hang in the room here with the bucket chain and the mine carts and just chill?
She said to wait 15 minutes, right?
Okay, yeah.
I'm just humming the song that Paulton sang to me to give me bardic inspiration and smiling at him.
Well, now I know I'm going to die.
All right.
Dieth anxiously paces.
Okay, great.
While
like
Evelyn's just...
All right. So, Strix, you move back out onto the iron gantry. Not much has changed since you left.
All right, cool. I'm just going to try and continue until I can find where the slaves are held.
Okay. And you're running across the top of the gantry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Probably staying close to the walls, I imagine.
Yeah. Just trying to look as ratty as possible.
Yep. Okay. Just make a stealth check. I'll give you advantage.
Yay! Ooh. 15.
Okay. You slink past 1, 2, 3, 4 dumb ogres with their big poles, and they don't even notice you at all. They don't even face you. And then you get to the fat squat giant who's been torturing this dwarf. And as you get closer, let's see, the giant is speaking giant. And if I recall, I had
tongues on.
Oh, that's right.
But I don't know how long.
Okay, that's gone. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would understand.
All right. But it's clear that this giant is just tormenting this dwarf. And the dwarf looks like a battered, tired, soot-covered slave like the others. Nothing remarkable about the dwarf in any way, other than he's cursing the giant and shouting back at the giant and generally not making it, not going quietly.
Wait, what suffix is he using?
Yeah, I was going to ask. Is he using?
He is using the ton. Ton. He is using the ton suffix.
I don't think we've heard that one.
No, we haven't heard that before. Nah, fuck him.
Yeah. All right. That's how we judge dwarves now. Now, Holly, now that you're on the other end of the forge, you can see behind the fire giant, there is a wide passageway leading to what appears to be a little side chamber with a staircase going down, an iron staircase, a spiral staircase made of iron. So that's one way. It appears to lead down to the lower level of the foundry.
Okay.
But then there is another open doorway through which you can see what appears to be a giant slave wheel.
Oh, okay.
A flat wheel with many spokes and slaves in a circle around the edge, just pushing it around and around and around. And all of the slaves appear to be either dwarves or gnomes.
That's the one.
Yeah. The bucket chain does pass through that chamber as well, you can see. There's also a big burning fireplace there, and what appears to be a fire giant sentinel.
Great.
To watch the slaves.
That wasn't planned, but worse things have happened.
My mistake. It's not a fire giant sentinel. It's 2 ogres clad head to toe in spiked iron armor.
Come on.
So big, sort of fat, 9-foot, 10-foot tall ogres, just covered in iron.
Okay. Well, this wheel is my goal, so I have to make a distraction.
You skitter to the edge of the room with the big giant wheel in it. These slaves look absolutely exhausted, but they dare not falter. There's one gap where you'd expect to see a slave, but there isn't one, which leads you to suspect that's probably where the guy behind you plucked one of them out. The ogres, they just seem to be standing at attention, kind of awkwardly, and like trying not to move much. And
it's our first day.
yeah, exactly. They got first day jitters, but one of them actually is kind of swaying a little bit, like the heat is getting to it.
Great.
And you notice that there are 3 other exits to this room. One has a barred portcullis that you could easily slink through. The other 2 are just open passageways.
All right. This barred portcullis, if I could, I'll just check and see what's through there just before I do anything drastic.
Okay, you scuttle around the room, around the wheel, past the fireplace, underneath the bucket chain, over to the portcullis. And when you look inside, make a perception check.
Oh, balls. That's a 3.
Okay, and now I'd like you to make a stealth check.
Great. Well, at least I already wasted my 3. Oh, sweet. 18.
Dang.
Well done.
Yeah, suck that, Chris Perkins.
Yeah. All right. So, thank God.
Oh, great.
As you peer through the iron portcullis, you see a tunnel leading to a room that seems to be strewn with gnawed, blackened humanoid bones.
Ew.
And you see in the darkness or in the dimness what appear to be 7, to you, absolutely enormous black hounds with fire coming out of their eyes and fire coming out of their nostrils.
Puppies.
No.
Cool.
No.
Yeah.
If say I released these.
You would let the dogs out?
Yes. If say
we would have the answer to that age-old question now, wouldn't we?
Yes.
It would be strict.
Would these dogs attack everyone or just the slaves? Like, can I insight this or?
You have no information around which to base a hypothesis.
Great.
Paulton is mourning he needs a dog.
No.
This
Not
dog,
like this.
each of these dogs is significantly larger than Paulton.
No. Okay. Well, they are behind a door. So I have a feeling that if these dogs are there as fodder for possibly if a slave misbehaves, but I definitely think that they would attack everyone, including the ogres and the fire giants. That's just my opinion.
That's cool. None of us are there with you.
I know. Well, Strix is just looking around thinking, is it worse to be a slave or dead? She's just like in rat form thinking this. Slave, dead, save more slaves, save everyone, stop it for the greater good. Right? And yeah.
She said to herself.
You are momentarily jarred when there's this huge clatter ahead of you, and you see that sort of dazed ogre drops his big spiked iron great club on the floor accidentally.
Oh no!
And then he starts to sort of try to reach down and grab it, and in his armor he can't quite reach it. And so he's like trying different ways of leaning and turning to try to reach his great club. And for a minute, it almost looks like he looked right at you, but then you realize he wasn't paying any attention.
All right. I'm going to go position myself behind these ogres.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to get behind them.
Great. And
actually, that puts you fairly close to the 2 other exits from the room, which don't have portcullises blocking them. One of them seems to lead to some sort of giant office of some kind, like an overseer's office, maybe.
Oh.
Yeah. The other one is a hallway that bends out of view, and you don't know where that goes.
The overseer's office, huh?
Could be. There's a big, looks like a big black stone desk of some kind.
Weird. No one's there?
You don't see anyone, no.
But
the room is larger. You can't see the entire room.
Maybe could I sneak in there and look for a key, maybe?
All right. Yes, you you head into the overseer's room.
No, I'm like, Deef likes keys.
You can see that there's an enormous fireplace that heats and illuminates the chamber. There's an obsidian mug sized for a fire giant on top of this black basalt table. Lying under the table are several large casks of what may have contained ale at one point, but they look to be empty. There are shelves that on the walls that you can't reach. There are 2 iron doors leading from the room. One of the iron doors is closed and is giant-sized. The other one is also giant-sized and open, and you can see a giant butt sticking out of it. What appears to be
Literally.
what you assume to be a fire giant is on all fours with his head and body in what appears to be the closet. It looks like he's looking for something in this storage closet and has been reduced to searching the floor.
What?
So all you see is this big giant butt and
Okay.
and feet sticking out of an open iron doorway.
All right.
Go for it.
You don't
Do
think
it.
you don't think he's going to be you can hear him rifling through stuff looking for something and sort of cursing to himself.
Yeah, is
you
a giant
see-
but
You see hanging off his giant belt a large key
Oh man.
made of iron. That key
Oh.
is bigger. That key is bigger than you in your current form.
Yeah, definitely can't pick that up as a rat. I know he has it though.
Yep.
yeah, how many luck points would a giant butt rock be?
All right. Well, I'm gonna scuttle back into the other room. I watched this giant. I now know where he is, and there's the ogres. And
Yeah. It's been 15 minutes.
oh no.
Have you guys heard anything?
No, I don't hear a thing.
God damn it. Oh, we didn't have a contingency plan.
You think she's all right?
I have
Dear
no
Lord
idea.
Lathander, please tell us if Strix is all right and if we need to go after her. Do I hear anything from Lathander?
Nope.
I feel as though she's all right, but I usually feel that way, so I don't know.
Sure, she's fine. Let's give it another 25 minutes.
25, that's a whole lot.
I don't even know if she can stay as a rat that long. Can she? They don't know how that works?
It's an
Concentrate
hour.
for an hour.
All right. I don't know that.
And it's been about a half hour at this point.
Ah, son of a bitch.
Oh, geez.
Since
Well,
she
she's
first
probably-
went into the foundry, came back, made her little message on the floor, and then
Yeah.
left again. So
She
She
said that
wasted
she'd
so
make a
much time.
distraction.
I know, it hasn't happened yet, so things could be far worse.
I think we should wait a little while.
speaking of
Fine.
far worse, Strix.
I'm behind the ogre.
Okay,
Right?
so you're behind one of the big,
Okay.
heavy armored ogres.
I'm gonna push myself against the wall and turn it back into myself as quietly as I can.
All right, just make another stealth check for me.
That's 13.
Okay, neither ogre notices you standing behind one of them.
Yes, just like this. And I'm gonna look over to that door with the dogs, and I'm
Yep.
gonna cast knock on it,
Okay,
and I'm gonna open it.
excellent.
Ah, you're gonna let the dogs out.
All right, the dogs have been let out. Okay, so the
Cool.
suddenly of its own accord, the portcullis ratchets up into the ceiling, creating an opening for the dogs to exit. And exit they do.
Strix just yells, "I'm sorry!"
Don't yell anything.
All right, now let us roll initiative, Strix.
I still have Misty Step. I haven't done it yet.
I know.
I know.
How'd you do?
11.
Okay. I know roll for the hounds. I know. Okay, great. So Strix, you cast the one spell. The thing ratchets up into the ceiling, and then I'm sorry, you said you wanted to Misty Step somewhere.
Yeah, as far away as I can get out the door.
Like back the way you came far,
Yeah.
where the fire giant kid is and the dwarf prisoner.
Oh, actually, I could go into the office. That might be fun.
You could, yes.
Uh,
Those are your options.
Look
Okay.
at that DM face. Look at that face as he says that.
I'm gonna go into the office and hide under the desk.
Okay, so you misty step underneath the desk. Got it. Done.
Yep.
All right, make another stealth check since you have basically moved to a new location and there's a new enemy in your midst.
7.
Okay. All right. So as soon as the dogs come out, they start barking, making all sorts of noise. I'd like the other 3 of you to make perception checks at disadvantage because of all of the furnace noises. It's hard to hear.
Oh, the first roll's pretty good. Still managed 17 though.
Oh, that's
No,
good, dude.
18. 18
Oh.
stone.
Oh,
Butt
yes,
rock.
you do. Butt rock. And Nathan, you don't know what butt rock is, but they found a magic stone that DF has that basically gives them.
We don't
plus
call
one.
it, but we don't call it butt rock.
We call it butt rock.
It's
I love
actually,
butt
it's
rock.
actually, it's actually a luck stone, not a butt stone. But
Hey,
um,
we call it where it came from, you know?
yes, one of the slaves gave it to DF as a thank you, and it was hidden up her derriere. So, how did you do, Paulton? On your
I am rocking a powerful 2.
Evelyn.
I rolled an 8, so I think I'm singing Paulton's song, and he's
Yes.
so horrified by how I'm butchering his song.
Yes, DF's the only one who's actually got his ear to the
Yeah.
air.
Sounds
and
about
is
right.
Paying attention to what's going on. All right, so DF, you do actually hear dogs barking, which you weren't expecting. And then the dogs immediately start to attack the slaves at the wheel.
Uh-oh.
Several of them, and start to drag them away, kind of back to their lair.
Oh,
But
shit.
the slaves they've got their ankles chained up, so they can't really get away. So you hear and see, Strix, a few slaves get pulled off the wheel by dog jaws and dragged off screaming.
Whoops.
This
We did it.
causes the entire slave wheel to stop, and when that happens, the bucket chain stops. So Evelyn and Paulton, as you are distracted, you see the bucket chain, which is normally going along like this, just sort of.
That looks like maybe Strix has done something.
All right. And at that point in time, the ogres in armor, Strix, you can see they're a little slow on the uptake. But when the dogs start, they start to make guttural noises. That causes the overseer, who is next to you, to pull his head out of the closet, stand to his full 22-foot height,
Yeah.
and immediately make his way around the desk toward the entrance. And as he passes you and heads out toward the slave wheel, he suddenly turns and stops and looks back at you.
No!
She's like, "Hey, Cutter, how's it going?"
All right. Now everybody can roll initiative. You're already done, Strix. You don't have to roll initiative again, but I
Oh,
need
good.
DF, Evelyn, and Paulton to roll initiative.
18.
18.
8.
8.
Continuing the theme, I'm rocking the powerful.
Oh, no.
Okay. Whew.
Burn that die. That's a bad one.
Evelyn, what would
It
you
was
like
a
to do? Oh, dear gosh. Evelyn,
I see this
the buckets have
monster.
stopped.
Oh, so I'm not even in that room.
No.
We're still.
Okay,
I
I'm
saw
just.
the bucket
Yeah.
stop.
You just saw buckets stop. That's your only clue that anything has changed.
Come on, time to go. That's the distraction.
I agree. Stay low, stay quiet. Follow the directions that Strix wrote out for us.
What are we doing?
Great.
All
Come
right,
on.
so Evelyn, using your movement, you flutter toward the heat and you come to the big foundry room. You're kind of fluttering over this iron gantry 50 feet above the floor. When you look around and you're kind of in the shadows, you're not easy to see from up here. Certainly not from by the fire giants, the 4 of them that are on the floor below. They are all kind of looking up and around. They've stopped bellowing because the bucket chain has stopped, and they're curious as to why things have stopped.
But I don't see Strix in here, and I know that she went further than here.
Yeah, the ogres on the gantry likewise are sort of puzzled, and they're just sort of looking around with their big tilty rods in their hands. On the far side of the foundry, you see a relatively short fire giant who you assume to be a young guy. He drops the dwarf into the furnace.
Oh, well, there goes that.
And then goes stomping off toward what you assume to be the source of the problem, and where you assume to be Strix.
That's me, the source of the problem.
Can Dieth and Paulton follow me, like by running across this?
So yeah, to run around the gantry that circles the room, you're looking at, let's see, 10, 20, 30, 40, 70, 80, 90, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 80, 90, 100, 10, 20, 30, about 250 feet of gantry.
But I can fly across the room much faster.
If you were to fly across the room, you would cut that distance down by about half.
Well, I guess I'm going to just make sure that Dieth and Paulton are coming as fast as they can, and I'm just going to beeline toward where I think Strix is.
All right, so you fly out over the open air of the foundry.
I try to stay close to the ceiling in the shadows if I can.
Well, there is a fair amount of smoke up there, so that's actually a pretty good place to hang. I'm going to have you make a stealth check with advantage.
Ooh. What's my stealth? Ooh. Okay, 17 or 10. I'll take the 17.
Okay. Oh wait, you're wearing heavy armor. So you have disadvantage.
Oh no.
Why?
On stealth, all stealth checks made in heavy armor have disadvantage. But I'm going to say, since you're flying and not clattering, I'm going to discount that on this particular.
Yeah.
So, yes, you begin to make your way across the smoke, and the fire giants have not detected you at the end of your turn. Next up is Strix.
Hooray! Oh gosh, I'm just looking right at that fire giant. I'm gonna give him a
and he's sort of flashing his gaze to you and then back at the chaos in the other room, like he's momentarily torn about whether to deal with you or to deal. And then you see his eyebrows raised, like he's just put all the pieces together in his mind, and he just points a big fat hand at you and says something like, "You assume to be, but it's in giantish. You."
Strix is very, very used to getting that tone of voice.
Yeah.
So that's nothing new to her. Yeah, I'm going to turn into a cloud immediately.
Okay, so you gaseous form.
Yeah.
You now look like a gaseous form of yourself.
And I'm going to try and move as much as I can through the desk, through the walls, just to get away.
So from this room, your options are to either go past the giant into the slave room. That appears to be the only open exit. But there are also 2 big iron doors, one of which you know leads to a closet, probably a dead end. The other one, you don't know where that leads, and there's enough of a gap under the door that you could easily go under either of those.
All right, I'll go check that door. I'll go under it and see what's in there.
Okay. You disappear under that door. The giant says something incomprehensible and confused as you disappear. When you come out on the other side, you are in another dark closet. And this closet is full of boxes and crates and things. It's very badly organized.
All right, well.
And you see things like more casks and crates, what you assume to be like rations and stuff like that. You think it might be supplies for the slaves that the fire giants might have stolen from somewhere.
Got it.
But yes, there is no exit from this closet that you are now inside.
Okay. Well, the giant's not after me in this closet, or I don't think he is.
Well, it is his turn. So let us see what the giant does, shall we?
Why did I say that?
Okay.
I'm still a cloud. I'm going to float to the ceiling.
Oh, okay.
So I'm
yes. So you hear his heavy footfalls moving farther away from you.
Oh, all right.
You suspect he knows that you're in a dead end and you're not going anywhere. So he's basically going to deal with the problem you left for him.
Well, fancy that. I guess I'll get out of the closet then, because.
Well, it is currently Diath's turn.
All right, still stuck.
Great. All right. So
Diath, when you come out onto the gantry, you don't see that fire giant, the young fire giant that Strix described in rat form. He seems to be gone. You do see 4 fire giants below you and 4 ogres on the gantry.
Awesome.
And you can probably make out Evelyn just traveling through the smoke up near the ceiling.
All right. I wrote down in my notebook, this is going poorly.
This is the plan.
So
this is the plan functioning as intended.
yeah,
right?
Exactly. So and then I guess I'll follow Strix's directions and stay low and make my way around the gantry towards where Evelyn is going, because she probably has a better idea of where Strix could be than I would at the moment.
Yeah.
Only I have to take the long way around.
Right. You do have to take a long way around, and you're trying to hide, so you're moving very slowly. But make a stealth check to fool the ogres and the fire giants.
Can I cunning action to dash crawl?
Dash crawl.
Yeah.
You can, yes. But again, crawling very slow.
Yeah.
I feel like I need a visual explanation of how dash crawling looks.
Stealth check is 25.
It's not a Naruto run. We know that.
Stop! How dare you? Stealth 25. It was balls,
Yes.
right?
So you blend in with the soot-covered walls. The ogres do not notice you at all, nor do the fire giants far below.
Every time I think of that, I think of Kronk from The Emperor's New Groove singing his own theme song against the wall, like. Yeah, exactly.
So good.
All right, and then Paulton, hanging out at 1.
Yep.
You've been left by your friends behind, but you were. What are you going to do?
Okay, so everyone has left me,
Yes.
right? Okay.
They urged you to follow.
I will follow.
Okay. And you come out onto the iron gantry overlooking the foundry. If you can see Evelyn up near the smoky ceiling, Diath is lost in the shadows somewhere.
Okay. And what mean things do I see?
You see 4 ogres on the gantry looking very confused.
Okay.
Not really paying attention to you per se. They seem to be looking down at the fire giants who were looking up at them, and everybody's shrugging shoulders trying to figure out why the bucket chain has stopped and why all the dogs have been let out.
Does anything seem especially stronger than the other?
The fire giants look much, much stronger than the ogres. The ogres are big, but they're kind of dumb and not nearly as dangerous.
Okay. And how far are they from me?
The closest ogre to you is...
How close is the closest fire giant?
Well, the fire giants are... The nearest one to you is about 30 feet away and down.
Okay.
The closest ogre is about 30 feet away from you and on the gantry to your right. So they're about equidistant, but one is at your level, that's the ogre, and one is on the level below, that's the fire giant.
Oh, okay. So then they can't access each other.
No, they can't.
Okay.
The ogres and the fire giants are separated from each other, and there's no immediate way to get from the gantry down to the floor.
Not even like jumping?
Other than falling and jumping.
Okay, I'm going to try this.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Oh.
And we're going to...
I know what he's going to do. This is hard.
We're going to Crown of Madness the ogre.
Yes.
Right. Oh my gosh. The spell does not take hold.
No.
Surprisingly.
This genuinely, it's an ogre, right?
Yeah.
Genuinely, Paul's reaction is fucking smart guy over here. Sure.
Yeah, that ogre seems to have made a once in a lifetime saving throw. This
Maybe try again.
this iron crown sort of fizzles over his head, and he feels the intrusion in his mind, the sudden momentary madness overcome him. And he's like, "Ah! Ah!" and starts to look around to see what might be causing it.
Can I do a hide?
Sure, go ahead. Make a stealth check.
Can I do a hide?
Let's see. Okay, done. 17.
Okay. I have to check the. He does not see you.
So I'm just like,
Yep, exactly. Evelyn, you're flying over in the smoke.
Yeah, I'm still just trying to head toward where I hear.
Yeah, so let's see. You're able to get about halfway across the foundry. If you use an all-out move and do nothing but move, you can get to the far side of the gantry.
I do that.
Okay, you're going to try to land on the gantry at that point?
Yeah, because the only way for me to get through to the other room is to now descend and go through a door.
Yes.
And the
Okay.
door is not tall enough that I could kind of eke through like the top corner.
The door is pretty tall. It's about 30 feet high. Yes, you think you can try. I'll have you make another stealth check to remain unseen.
Okay.
I think you're gonna be okay.
8.
You're fine.
Yay!
Yeah, they rolled a 2. So
Oh.
okay.
Well, good.
Bad rolls for them, good rolls for you. So yes, you were able to slink into the doorway. When you do, you are now looking at a huge square room that has the slave wheel dominating the middle of it. The wheel is not turning. Neither the bucket chain suspended across the room is not moving. There is a burning fireplace, and there are big black dogs who are currently being accosted, chastised by a fire giant. And
Evelyn's
they-
eyes light up for a second. Puppies! And then she's like, no, Strix.
Right.
Puppies.
Yeah, these are hellhounds, Evelyn. You were told about these in Sunday school. They're not good. And moreover, you can see that they have stopped attacking the slaves and are just being sort of berated back toward the cells.
Even when you know a dog is bad, when you see a dog with its tail tucked between its legs and looking all sad, you can't help but be like, puppy.
Yeah.
At least I can.
There is one slave who did not fare too well, and his smoking, blackened, charred corpse is just sort of billowing smoke up into the room. Looks like one of the dogs lit him on fire.
That's not good.
There are 2 big ogres clad head to toe in iron armor, much like you, but their armor is gross and heavy. And
mine is pretty, even though it's black.
Yes, exactly. And also, they seem completely clueless. They're just sort of standing there, kind of stupidly staring at the dogs, at the slaves, at the fire giant, and don't really have a clue. No sign of Strix.
Okay.
Zero Strixes in this room. There are, however, 3 exits, one of which is an open portcullis that looks like the dogs are being herded back into, and the other 2 are hallways, just like the one you just slunk through.
So I'm kind of just like, did I go through the door?
Yes.
So I'm like hiding in the smoke on the ceiling again.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep hiding until I have a better lay of the land or see where Strix is. Because
Okay.
I assume she's in cloud form.
You do assume that.
And I can't see a cloud that is shaped like Strix anywhere.
Nope.
I'm
For all
just
you know, she might actually still be in rat form.
That's true. But I don't see anyone fighting what looks like a tiny little rat. Or
Nope.
anything, so,
Nope. No signs of Strix anywhere.
So I'll just hide.
Make a perception check to see if you notice anything.
16.
As you are up near the ceiling and you're looking down into some of the buckets, you see one of them contains a frog.
Oh God.
Does it happen to be over the furnace or fire or anything?
No, it's not in the foundry. It's just sort of kind of not quite over part of the slave wheel.
That's
how do we
useful.
know it's the same?
That's probably just another frog that wandered in here. I guess I filed that information away.
Okay. Yes, but fortunately, the ogres being clueless and the fire giant being distracted by the hellhounds and the slaves being absolutely horrified by this whole thing, none of them are paying any attention to you whatsoever. Which brings us to the overlord. The overseer is busy herding hellhounds, getting them back in their cell. He shouts orders to one of the big ogres, Evelyn, and the big ogre disappears down one of the other hallways.
Okay. Do I still have action left?
No, you're done.
I didn't think so.
And Strix, what do you do?
All right. Well, if there's nothing in the closet, I'll cloud out.
Okay, when you billow out into the room, you see that there is an ogre standing in the doorway. One of the big stupid armored ones. It looks like he just kind of waddled in and is standing and looking around the room for anything. And so you come out as a gas. What do you do?
Can I float to the top of the ceiling? Like, is it?
You can. The ceiling is about 25 feet high here, so yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'll float to the top of the ceiling.
Okay. The ogre sees you and just watches you float up to the ceiling.
Cool.
But you can tell he's not really quite, and then his head just sort of goes like he has no idea what he's looking at.
Great.
All right, you are now up near the ceiling. You can actually, and you're a gas cloud, so you're not moving very fast. Are you going to just try to move across the ceiling?
Yeah, closer to the door.
Okay.
Just like,
yeah, so you can get up. You can basically get above the desk at this point.
Cool.
Now the ogre could theoretically reach you if he chose to hit you with his big ass ray club because he's 10 feet tall and he has a reach with that thing, but he doesn't seem to be sure what you are.
That's not surprising.
And DF.
Yep.
You're.
I'm a sneaking. Yep.
All right. Make another stealth check.
Another one? Okay.
Yep.
Got it. 22.
Okay.
Wait, I'm sorry. 20.
Yeah, nobody in the foundry pays any mind to you as you scuttle. You've passed 2 of the ogres at this point. There are 2 more on the gantry that you have to slip past.
Okay.
All right. And it is Paulton's turn. Paulton, you did not get very far into the foundry before you were forced to withdraw.
Great.
But that ogre did not notice you.
So now I'm like looking down into the thing. Okay.
And your friends have gotten probably farther away from you at this point. You can't see any of them or hear any of them.
Cool. Let's go ahead. So what do I see happening right now? I'm struggling to figure out what to do.
All right. So you are at the entrance to the foundry. You're not on the gantry because you don't want to be seen by the ogres. And when you look at the gantry that circles around the room, the ogres aren't doing anything. They're just waiting for the bucket chain to start up again. The fire giants down below seem to be waiting as well, but they're actually searching, looking around the room for any signs of trouble at the same time. By now, you can tell the hammering in distant forges that you can't see has stopped. So there's more activity that's being stopped by the sudden halt of the bucket chain. Apart from the ogres and the giants in the foundry, you don't see anyone else.
Okay, and that one ogre's still up with me, yeah?
He is. He's 30 feet away from you on the gantry, and he never quite figured out what did that to him.
Okay. I'm going to... God, I guess I'll try to dissonant whispers him. Maybe it'll make him run or something.
All right. So you peer around the corner, cast your spell on him as quietly as you can, and he has to make a wisdom saving throw, which he fails.
Cool.
And so are you heightening the spell to do more damage? You're going to hit it at your minimum.
I'm pretty sure. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to do it at 3.
Okay. So you will do an extra, you'll do 5d6 psychic damage to him total.
Okay. And does he also? Is this a spell where they try to like get away from?
Yes, this is the spell where they try to move away from from you as fast as possible.
Okay, so let me see here.
The creature won't move into obviously dangerous ground, but it will probably run further away from you on the gantry.
20.
Outstanding. All right, so this ogre takes a walloping 20 points of damage. That causes him great mental anguish, and he stares over in your general direction, fearing that something horrible is lurking over there, and quickly runs all the way to one of his buddies further down the gantry.
Buddies.
And then he sort of wraps his arms around his buddy and sobs. This seems to cause...
Don't feel bad for it.
You don't have to make a check to see that this seems to cause the fire giants below some consternation. They can't figure out why this ogre suddenly broke down and is behaving so badly.
I don't want to work here.
Like, the job's not that stressful, dude. All right.
We're causing so much havoc.
My parents wanted me to be an architect.
And one of them actually has the forethought, suspecting there might be some infiltrator, to reach down into the pool of molten iron and pick up a handful of dripping molten iron in his hand.
Who is able to do that? The ogre?
The fire giant.
Oh, okay.
One of the fire giants down below grabs a handful of molten iron.
No.
Good.
No.
Good.
Good?
All right.
Great.
He's kind of looking over to where Paulton is, but hasn't been able to figure out anything. And that's Paulton, which brings us to Evelyn. Evelyn.
How close is the frog in the bucket to me?
The frog in the bucket is about, I want to say, 10 feet below you.
So it's like right below me.
Yeah.
Oh. How close is the dog pen to me?
That is 50 feet away.
Like across the room?
Yep.
What check does one roll to throw a thing?
That depends. If
Probably Dex, right?
It'll be Dex related, yes.
Hmm.
If it's an improvised thing, like a thing that doesn't normally get thrown, you just roll a d20 and add your Dex modifier. If it's a actual bona fide weapon, then you get to add your proficiency modifier if you have it. So,
unless you're proficient in throwing dead rats
or frogs or
dead frogs.
Evelyn knows this is a stealth mission, and what she should do is just wait to make sure she extracts Strix. But she really likes giving treats to doggies, and she knows that they need to get rid of the frog. So she really wants to take the frog and feed it to the doggies. Is there smoke on the ceiling here too?
There is, yep.
So also the door that the other ogre is going down that looks like there might be some disturbance over there is also across the room, right? So I think I'm getting closer.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
So Evelyn rationalizes that this is getting her closer to Strix anyway. She's going to reach down, grab the frog, and try to
Fly
flutter
down,
over
grab the frog
across the ceiling, and then just like chuck it in between the bars of the dog cage.
Okay. Now, doing that without the fire giant overseer seeing is the tricky part.
I can't hide in the smoke?
To a certain extent, yes. But eventually you have to poke your head out of the smoke to throw a frog
Right.
down from above without him noticing.
Maybe it's a ceiling frog.
Oh my god.
Make a stealth check.
Okay.
Those
Crazy
darn
frog.
ceiling frogs
Oh
again.
no, you guys. This is not good. I got a 6.
Okay. So you grab the frog from the bin, you fly up out of the bin, fly over to the room through the smoke, hurl the frog down amid the hellhounds, and it sort of plops onto the ground next to like 2 of them, and they both sort of look at it evilly. And then suddenly the big fire giant sees you with your fluttery boots and your ornate black armor hanging there in the air. And your turn is over, but his is just beginning.
Oh god.
All right.
I couldn't help it.
Yes, you could.
He is going to yank the iron spiked great club out of the dumb ogre guard's hand, and try to strike you with it a couple times.
Uncanny dodge.
He rolls. He rolls a 27 on the first
Oh my
attack.
god.
That hits.
You will take half damage, so 28 is reduced to 14 points of damage.
Okay. When can I take a special action, Chris Perkins?
How many hit points do you have left, Evelyn, after you lose 14?
34.
Okay, good. Then he will take another swing at you. This one time rolling a 22 to hit.
That hits too.
So 7. 9. He does 30 reduced to 15 points of bludgeoning damage with the second one.
Okay.
Remember when we were like, we shouldn't fight giants?
And at the same point, he bellows something in giant that you assume to be akin to intruders, and everybody hears it.
Cool.
But does the dog eat the frog, Chris?
The dog eats a frog,
Wow, don't you feel good now?
which suddenly then turns into a salamander inside the
Oh,
frog.
gross.
And this big fiery serpent tail comes erupting out of the frog's mouth as and then the salamander sort of bursts out of the hellhound's sides. And the whole thing just sort of turns into a conflagration of scaly parts and dog parts as these two creatures tear each other to pieces.
Big distraction, right? So distracting.
Ew.
On the far side of the forge, a certain fire giant named Duke Zalto hears all this going down.
There's a certain fire giant?
Yes. And begins to wade his way into your business.
But can I take a special action?
No. No.
Okay.
Strix, what do you do?
This might have been my fault. Maybe it's all our fault.
You're a cloud version of yourself floating up near the ceiling. This armored ogre is watching you intently.
Can I
It's
get
not
past
watching
him?
the freaking salamander explode out of a hellhound?
She didn't. Neither of them saw it. Neither of them are in view to actually see it.
Is there any
But,
way for me to get past him?
Yeah, you can float over his
Okay,
head.
I'll just float over his head.
Okay, he could take an attack of opportunity against you, but he doesn't.
You did.
'Cause he does attacking smoky things isn't really, normal business for him. So he
That's
just sort of
fine.
That was
Yeah.
part of the employee manual.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So you pass gently over him and you come out into the slave room where you see a bunch of slaves lying on the floor, hoping not to get stomped or killed. You see Evelyn being swatted at by this fire giant overseer. And you see what appears to be a salamander bursting out of the body
God.
of a hellhound.
That does
And,
not surprise me.
and 6 more hellhounds that are currently not being controlled by the overseer.
I thought they were all in the pen. You said you put them back in the pen.
But the portcullis never dropped.
Oh, no.
So
It's fine.
there's-
Everything's fine.
That's a double move for you, Strix. But you can see Evelyn for the first time, so you know you're not alone now.
That's good. I'm floating still as close to the ceiling as I can,
Yes.
so nothing can reach me.
Right. And we conclude today's session with Paulton. Paulton, you hear horrible sounds. Dogs barking, a giant screaming. All of the giants below you suddenly become very, very alert, and they all pick up globs of molten magma. The ogres on the gantry are still stupid, oblivious idiots who are just sort of like, duh, what, who, where, what? But yes, you are now staring out across the foundry. You know, all your friends are more or less over on the other side. You might even catch a glimpse of Dieth making his way silently past some dumb ogres. But you are alone on this far side of the foundry.
I reach in and I just kind of and then I hope for the best.
All right. Hope for the best we will when we return next week for the next great episode of Dice Camera Action. Thank you to everybody for joining us.
I'm
And-
sorry.
I
gonna
explicitly said, don't fight the fire giants.
I didn't fight the fire giant.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all the frog's fault.
Yeah, technically it is. Technically, yes. That is exactly whose fault it is. It is not Strix's fault.
I have high hopes that was metal enough to get everyone's attention, at least for a moment,
Mhm.
and let
Oh,
us
yes.
Pretty
free.
brutal.
Oh yes.
It was
Yes.
pretty metal, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Freaking fire salamander bursts out of a hellhound after being
Oh,
eaten
yeah.
as a frog.
That was
It's
hardcore.
safe to say all the dwarf and gnome prisoners are freaking out. Yeah. It's the last thing you expect a hellhound to regurgitate.
Oh, God.
All right. Yes. So that was awesome. Anybody have anything they want to share with the greater community before we break off for the day?
I'm playing my Misclicks D&D second edition game right after this at 6:00 on Misclicks. I'll put the link in the chat. And also this weekend, I'm hosting Heroes of the Dorm in Las Vegas.
Ooh.
So come hang out or watch.
Nice. I've got two things. They're not D&D related, but this was already announced, but now the whole season's out. So if you go to Funimation and you have an account, you can watch Luck and Logic, in which I voice protagonist Yoshitsuka. It's a pretty cool show. And then this was last week, but I wasn't here. But if you're playing Atelier Fierce, they released a new character named Heinz, who I also voice. So that one's
cool.
super cool. It was a fun character. So it's on, I think, PS4 and Steam. So go check it out. It'll be fun.
Awesome.
Worth the release.
Cool.
Atelier Fierce.
Huh?
Atelier is the pronunciation.
Not in the booth, it wasn't.
All right.
Okay. That's it. We're good.
That's it for me.
I got nothing.
All right. All right. See you next week, guys. It's going to be more fun and shenanigans in the depths of Iron Slag. How will it end?
Poorly.
Oh, I know how it ends.
I'm betting in fire, not ice. Yeah. All right.
Mhm.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.